Salve. What's up, everybody? Ryan Swanson here at District Cutlery. This will probably be my longest video to date because I'm going to sharpen this big Takeda knife on stones for you. So, sort of have a love-hate relationship with these blades. He has a legendary cult following, obviously, if you're familiar with him. It's a long-time customer's knife. Scandi grind. This doesn't have any small little micro bevel on here. So I have some videos in the past of myself kind of grinding these out when they need it, right? But the Scandi's pretty good, so I'm going to roll with it, do it on stones. There's so much to dive into with these blades. I'm going to sort of just start sharpening while I'm talking because it's going to take me probably forever. Now, if you're a professional sharpener and you get these in, the thing to look for, first of all, is it straight? So always just make sure, like, is it straight? These bend really, really easy. You can bend them this way, you can bend them this way. Just, you know, if you're going to put it on stone, just make sure they're straight. Generally, they're never straight, okay? So always just double check it, okay? This one's pretty good. Then what you want to check for is chips, okay? Take your fingernail and bring it along the edge. And then it'll take, oh, there's a little chip right there. There's a little chip right there. And then there was another one down here. So these tiny little chips you think aren't going to be much. If you're grinding blue super steel on your stones, it's going to take you forever, okay? So charge accordingly. This is obviously a big blade. This is 254 millimeter. I did the math. It's just over 10 inches. So this is stainless clad. This is not ironclad. This is stainless clad blade. I think he's making them all stainless clad now. That's what I've heard. So anyway, I've got a 220 grit green brick of destruction here. I was going to kind of go through it. So you kind of do it in sections. If you want a good... Now with stainless clad, a lot of guys are trying to get like the Kasumi. Kasumi's good with the ironclad blade. You'll really see a difference. With stainless, it's just going to polish up. What you're mostly worried about is just maintaining this low Scandi grind and not putting a micro bevel on there, okay? If you want to put a micro bevel for strength, you can. It's sort of beneficial for it. Just depends what the end user wants. Yeah, so, you know, maybe if I have enough topics to talk about doing this. But again, 220 grit. When you're looking at the angle, you're literally like 1 or 2, I don't know what that is, 2 or 3 or 4 degrees off the stone. But that's it, all right? You got to maintain it. And if you do any strokes up a little bit higher, like when you come out, if you're doing this, you're going to have this big convex edge. It's going to be a nightmare for you, okay? So you got to maintain the Scandi grind. And throughout this course of this video, you're going to see my face going from joy to just feel like, because this is blue super, okay? It's made for wear resistance, abrasive resistance. But when they're sharp, you know, they're legit, okay? These knives are legit. But for the end user, they're not always that easy to maintain. I hear a lot of guys in a lot of comments like, oh, Takedas are easy. It's easy to sharpen my Takeda. Like, yeah, it's easy to sharpen your Takeda because, like, you've been maintaining it and you know what to do. But if you just, someone's dropping their Takeda off, there's a million things to look for. Like, how stubby is this Scandi grind actually is? Because if they don't know that it's supposed to be like, you know, 2 or 3 degrees off the stone and they're just sharpening like a normal knife at, say, 15, this gets stubby real quick. And my previous videos of thinning these out, that's why I do that, because they haven't been maintaining the Scandi grind. I flattened out my stones before I set up the camera, just to get everything ready. It's important to have flat stones. This will wear them out pretty quickly, so I flattened out a few of them. If this didn't have the chips in it, it wouldn't be too bad. But with these chips, it's going to take some time and some elbow grease here. You know, so going along. Once you start grinding it, then you can actually really see the tiny little chips right here. Oh my God, it's going to take forever. And you sort of want to maintain the same scratch pattern, okay? Don't be like here and then here and then here, because you're polishing the blade, you sort of want all the scratches to go together. Now, the theory with scratches and polishing, like you have them going this way, then you can move them out with this way through progressive grits. But it's just sort of impractical with stones. What you want to do is just like get up a burr, then go through the stones, go through your finer stones. I'll work this 220 until I get a burr and I get these chips out. But honestly, even getting a burr with this, it takes forever. So, 3 things I look for in a knife with like a good quality blade: how well it takes an edge, how long it holds that edge. Now, with those 2 categories, Takedas are amazing. Okay, they take a ridiculous edge and they hold their edge for a really long time. But the ease of sharpening, like that third point, the ease of sharpening for the end user, these knives are just like, they're hard for the end user to sharpen. Yeah, he knows it. Yeah. My staff, when these come in, generally the staff will call me over, and it's just sort of like the hard truth of like telling the owner either what the price is going to be, or that I got to regrind it. There's just always something wrong with them. They're never in pristine shape because of all those things. Like the end user generally doesn't know how to take care of them. This is not a knock on my customers or anything like that, okay? It's just like, this is the reality of it. So I'm trying to feel for a burr, but even if I have a burr, I'm still looking to make sure I get these chips out here. So you can see what I'm seeing. If you can, you know, it's starting to fade out. The problem with these two, if you have a chip in one area, all right, so I got to focus here. There's 2 little chips, tiny chips, here and here, okay? So if I focus on this area, grind it down, well, the Scandi grind, what that means is 2 planes coming together, okay? There's no little micro bevel. It's just like from where you see polished, or for the you know, the metal parts from here down, that's the edge. It's one big giant edge, okay? Scandi, it's 2 planes coming together like this, okay? If you grind that, so they call it grinding to 0. If I'm working on these chips right here and grind this to 0, well, I'm going to reprofile it, and what happens, I'm taking away more of the metal here, and I'm going to get a little recurve, okay? So I got to make sure I'm taking everything evenly from the blade, and that's the problem with Scandi grinds in general, is that if a knife is like, say it's duller down here, or let's say it's duller here because the person's rock chopping here, okay? Then I gotta, this came to 0 quickly, but this didn't. Well, I'm gonna take more up here. You're changing the profile. So again, the Scandi grind and the ease of sharpening factor for these blades, it doesn't score very well. See, it seems like I'm trashing it now, but when I'm done with it, I'm gonna be like, these knives are the shit. Again, a love-hate relationship. Now look where I'm using the stone too. I'm kind of going all over the stone, trying to wear it out evenly. So I'm not just sitting in one place. Get this out of here. Now, all this effort is just getting a burr, okay, on a 220 grit. Okay, we got something coming now. But because I have those chips, I'm going to have to grind a little bit extra. I mean, if you want to practice your stone sharpening, Takedas are nice because you'll be on the stones forever. So if you want to get that muscle memory, these are the way to go. Oh, success. Real important. Your thumb's on the back, you're putting pressure here, and your stroke is coming all the way up back and forth. And this has a burr here. Be careful because this can end up creeping up on you a little bit, coming down because you're always applying pressure here. So I've seen that before where the heel, where the choil meets, it's coming back because you're grinding to zero, so you're changing the profile. Again, feeling for the burr. Yeah, these chips are kind of chips are getting out, sort of. My shop is open for business right now, so if anybody comes back here, I get distracted. We are open for business, so my tiny little workshop here. That's the rest of this chef's knives here. He's a longtime customer, fellow knife nerd. I just want to, if I could show you how small these tiny little chips are. They're not big, but they're just so small. Right under my finger right there. I'm sure you won't be able to see it, but it's like so microscopic, but it's just enough where it's going to take, that's like less than a millimeter. So I'm going to focus on that area right there just a bit. It's tempting that I just want to like get it out, like raise it up, put a bevel on there. That'll get the chips out real fast, and then worry about getting that small little primary edge that I put on there out. But that's just a whole other thing. It's best to just keep the Scandi where it is and work the whole blade. I know that Takeda sound, they've got like a hand sharpener. I might have it back here somewhere. It's like a combo stone on a handle that needs to sort of like, that you sort of rub it back and forth on there. And that's how he does it when he puts his edge on. But then you're sort of holding two things. I don't know. It's easier just to have your stone and worry about the knife. For me, anyway. All right. See, I'm kind of digging a canyon in here with this. Kind of feel it. This is a softer stone, so it's getting wearing it out pretty quickly here. You can hear that difference because I just flattened this. So, but once I break it, it'll start getting a little coarser. And this stone's slanted. See that? This stone sort of slanted this way. So I can even like true my stone by, all right, I'm sharpening on the right side. Well, I'll have the high part of the stone on the right side, like this. And if I'm going to do the left side, I'll just turn the stone around. That'll even it out. Maybe I can time-lapse this video to get through this, but maybe you'll have to suffer just like me, the way I'm suffering right now. I'm just kidding. All right, so now we got a pretty good burr on this side. All right, nice. Just thing, I've been sharpening this knife for a while now, so this is probably like I sharpened this last, so I kept that Scandi nice and clean. And he's a really talented chef who knows how to use his knives. He takes care of them, not abusing them too much. But seeing these tiny little chips, it's not uncommon. It's just like, it's sort of just the nature of it, which is why some people say put a tiny little micro bevel on the end and then just treat this as like a small kind of secondary and primary edge. But then that primary edge gets fat real quick, and then you got to do so much work. You might have to put it on the grinder, which is like, I don't recommend putting these on the grinder unless you absolutely know what you're doing. You can go back and watch a couple of videos I have about thinning these. But it took me a long time to get confident to do that. All right, see, I'm focusing on where these chips are here. Get this to 0. We're looking for that little hand stone right now. But in our shop of horrors and our tiny little shop, things go missing. Coming right up, brother. That's not it. No, that's the Nagura. I don't know. We're looking for it, but whatever. You can just see Takeda's hand sharpening thing. You can Google it or whatever. I thought I saw it recently.
Yeah, I pulled out everything.
Oh, well. Small shop, but, you know, it's like the TARDIS in here. It's way... Things get lost in the vast smallness. So it's important before you move on, right? Like, oh, I got it. Like the chip's out, or I'm gonna, you know, it feels like I got a burr. Make sure you get all of the tiny little damage out before you move on, because then you'll never get it out. Okay, like you're gonna go to your. This is a 220. I'll just go up to like a. Get these big scratches out with a 320, and then honestly, I might just finish these either king or this is Swahiro. These softer combo stones. This brown 1000 grit will put like a really nice Kasumi on. You don't got to go crazy with all the J-Nats. I'm not really into that whole thing. I'm not against it. It's just like, you know, I'm busy sharpening knives or whatever, doing my own thing. And respect people who do that. But if you just want like a quick Kasumi, this soft 1000 grit stones, they work nice. So I might take it up to maybe 3 and then I'll just buff it. It's nice to have some tools where you can just buff it out. Oh, this tiny little chip is going to be the end of me. Okay, so this is like multiple thousands of strokes maintaining the same angle. We can't find the paddle stone. Whatever. So again, I'm just like double checking with my fingernail there. I can see it, but just give me some hope that it's coming out. That's the thing, when you price these, if you're a pro sharpener and someone drops these off, when you price it, like you have to assess the blade. Don't just be like, oh yeah, no problem, like $20, dude. You'll be here for hours on the stones. You got to really take a look at it. These are like the one knives where I'll always stop what I'm doing, come to the counter, check it out, be like, you know, get my monocle out and check for all these tiny little chips because they're all chipped. Woo, getting there. Again, I'm just feeling for that burr, make sure I got it. You don't move on until you know that you either have a burr along the entirety of the edge and that all your damage is out. Oh, this little chip. This is going to be the end of me. The end of me. Oh, definitely getting there. Again, blue super steel. This is why they call it that. It hates abrasives. Big question I get asked a lot is how do you work with the tips of the knives? Like how do you hand your like words cannot describe it. Like you were kind of working in like 4 dimensions here. You just got to get your elbows up. It's just there's no way to describe it. It's practice. You just can't believe how small this tiny little chip is. It's so small, but it just doesn't want to go anywhere. Could be getting there. And when you do these properly, if it's your knife or if it's your knife and you have a Takeda and you maintain the Scandi grind and don't lift it up too much, you're sort of naturally thinning the blade throughout its sharpening career, right? You're grinding this entire thing from here down. In fact, you're probably thinning it more than you are sharpening because you're grinding the softer cladding will wear away faster than the core since it's naturally softer. So if you do it properly and maintain that whatever 3 or 4 degree angle, like the edge should go up uniformly throughout the life of a knife. But nobody ever does that because it's hard to sharpen. So they're generally rocking it and having a stroke like this. So they're taking away more from the bottom edge than they are from the sides. And that's when it comes in as a little nub. And that's when I'll generally have to be like, I'm going to put this on the grinder, thin it out, put on a traditional edge geometry, big wide secondary edge, small little primary edge. It sort of changes the nature of the blade, but it's easier for the end user. We're getting close. I promise. All right, so I got 320 grit. This just sort of gets those big scratches out. Sharpened. Oh, another thing. This tub now is just full of dirty water. That reminded me. Get a clean spray bottle with some clean water. Okay, clean up your surface. There's nothing worse than going through all the grits, and you get to your fine stone, and you get like one little sliver of fine grit or even burr on there. Then all that work you've done, you get a big scratch. You sort of got to go back. Did you call earlier, dude? You just call? Thanks, man. These harder shaftings don't have like the best slurry, but they generally clean up again with that 1000 grit that I'll do. You can see the nice contrast. But with the stainless clad, it's like it ends up being polished anyway. Probably just take this home and put it on my Kasumi machine, right, Dylan? That'll be in the comments. What's a Kasumi machine? Trade secrets, everybody. Can't give them all away. If you're new to sharpening and you're like, oh, how do you get that muscle memory? Like, I've been doing this 12 years now, and you know how many strokes this is just for one knife? All right, I do this all the time. Our first year in business, all we did is sharpen by hand by stones. We sort of moved on to a Tormek and a 1x30. Got those 2x42s now. But we like sharpening on stones. If the knife is in good shape, we definitely enjoy still sharpening on stone. So, like you can't just sharpen. Takeda is the one knife you can't get away with sharpening on the grinder. Like if you put just a primary edge on there, like it's impossible. It's not impossible, but like matching this edge, it takes a real a high amount of skill. So you can either like grind the entire blade and then do that on the grinder, which I'm very good at, or just suck it up, charge accordingly, and put it on stones. But you just have to know how to assess them. Yeah, knife comes in with a little heart, everybody. You see the heart on the knife, really look at it. I met Takeda-san once at Blade Show in 2018 or 2019. Super nice guy, super sweet, super humble. Maybe a photo somewhere I'll post up. But we do not sell them, actually. For one reason or another. But they're, again, this is sort of a cult following around them. But you can see, this is basically like a basic sharpening for these. Okay, like the knife is dull, it's a chef. It's been worn, it had a little damage. So like this is not an extreme example of how many strokes this generally takes. This is normal. Do one more pass on this 320. Again, you're just sort of getting the scratches out. If you're doing this as a service, don't beat yourself up if you're not getting all the scratches out. Okay, just get a nice burr throughout the entirety of the blade. Go through your progressions. Buff it with either like a wheel or I use a felt belt or something like that. Put a nice polish on there, and generally you're good to go. I was just out in Vegas at the Western Sharpeners Roundup, put on by Cliff Curry Custom Cutlery. A really great show. I was exhibiting out there, and fellow sharpener brought his Takeda, just kind of like so I could walk him through how to do it. And we put him through the stones and this and that, and they was pretty good. But the key was I was like, dude, all right, this looks pretty good. Like he's still got a little bit of a burr. Jump on the belt, jump on the buffing belt, the felt belt, polish it up. And he did it. It was like, oh my God. I was like, dude, we had like a knife sharpening kind of competition so you can get the best edge. And I felt his. I was like, dude, after that felt, I was like, dude, go and enter this. I guarantee you'll have the highest score. And he did. You know, I'm still exhibiting whatever teaching, and I see him walking back, kind of like, I was like, oh, I knew it. I told you to have I told you it would win. So there's ways to get around. Like if you're doing it by stones, yeah, you can polish or whatever. But having a little power behind it, it never hurts. Okay. That was a nice story. We hooked that dude up, Matt. I mean, this is easily like 5,000 strokes already. You think about it, you know, it's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Boom, just like that, 10 strokes. But nice burr on here right now. All right, now. Just a little combo stone. Again, you don't need much. It's not like there are different levels of stones you can go out and buy. But like, again, for a nice little Kasumi finish, these brown combo stones, they do real nice. So, oh, clean water. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, let's see what's going on here first of all. Okay, what we're looking at. Still some rough scratches there. If you can see, I don't know how good it's going to put up, but that's how it looks right now. And after this, wipe this off. Just try to get any leftover grit off the blade. Oh, now we'll double check to see if that chip is out. I should have done that before, but now that it cleans up, yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, check your profile too. If you want to see the profile, okay, the profile is your shape. All right, you lay the blade flat, and then you're looking down the blade curve. That's how you check your profile for any recurves. Again, if it's bent, edge up, point toward you. It tells you if it's bending this way or this way. Profile for recurves, lay it flat down, point toward you. I mean, either way, it's fine. You know, you want to check the back of the blade, front of the blade, whatever. But that's the way to do it, okay? Now it's the slurry that's going to kind of give it its contrast. Again, this is stainless clad. Don't expect much out of stainless clad blades for Kasumi factor, okay? What I'll do, I'll just go straight to the 6,000. You see if I've got a 3,000 down there combo, please. This is Dylan. Say hi, Dylan. Dylan's my number one man. Yep, knife sharpener extraordinaire. Dylan's been with me October of 2020. What a year that was. How come you're not sharpening these Takedas, Dylan? That's the real question. Why am I still doing this? Yeah. So I got a nice slurry here. If it starts to soup up on you, just give it a little spray. Slurry, slurry, slurry. It was one of the narrow ones. It was like the 1,000, 3,000 narrow Swahiros. But I may have gone through it already. That's right.
8,000.
Should be 3 and 8.
Yeah, 3 and 8.
Yeah, that's this one. Nice. Thank you. that 3,000 soak. Off the 1,000, the Kasumi looks better, but for the edge purposes, you want to take it up maybe to like 3, even if you're going to buff it. I'll do a few more strokes on this. You can see the contrast between the cladding and the core. So what's going to happen when you're doing this is that you're like, oh, I did my 1,000. I did like 1,000 strokes on the 1,000 grit stone. It's going to look awesome. You're going to clean it off, and you probably have like still these big giant scratches on your blade. It's just like, how far do you want to take it? You know, kind of this consistency of your stroke will help, but like sometimes the corner of your stone will scratch your blade. Any sort of random chunks coming out of there, any burrs that might go on will scratch it up. This is sort of the obsession you're going to get. It's just trying to like perfect that Kasumi, but it's not easy. It's a pain in the butt. It's just it just depends how far you want to take it. If you're a pro and you're doing a job for it, you want it to look really good. If you're just doing it at home, just make sure that like it looks okay. I mean, just make sure that's functional. That's the first thing. It's just a tool used for cutting vegetables. All right. If you want to obsess over it, that's cool. But if you just want to maintain it, you know, don't beat yourself up over it. The knife of 10,000 strokes. You know, the fish of 10,000 casts. You know what it is? The muskie. You know who's never caught a muskie? This guy. It's like the fish of 100,000 casts for me. All right, we'll clean this off. We'll see how it looks. I haven't even checked it, so it's going to be like the big reveal here. The Kasumi reveal. But because this is like, all right, so if I have a burr, you think I'm grounding so much off of this with this, but like the blue super steel is so abrasive resistance, I'm just barely refining the edge right now. All right. This looks pretty good. All right, you can see the distinction here between the cladding and the core steel. Okay, you can even see that burr off there. I got to knock off with the next grit. See that all right? Coming through it. So you can see the difference there between the cladding and the core. It's a Kasumi. Now I could just basically buff this right now, knock this burr off, and it would be pretty good. But we'll take it up to 3,000 just for the edge purposes, and then I'm still going to buff it. Oh, you know what? Let me clean this off real quick. Nano hone lapping plate. It's legit. Okay, it's like kind of indestructible. It's for pros. Oh, jeez. Clean this up a little bit real quick. Sorry. Should have done this pre-production here. All right, good enough. You can see where the last Takeda I did. There's that little hole right there. Okay, bringing it down. Oh, let me just get it out. See that right there? It's good enough. Excuse me. Oh, you know what's good too is chamfer your edges of your stones. If you're flattening it, always just chamfer them a little bit. Just a touch. That will prevent any of that scratching I was talking about with the sharp corners. There you go. All right, 3,000. Sorry that took so long. That Kasumi does look nice off that 1,000 grit. Just one more look. Ooh. This still looks nice. That's why these superheroes are nice. Just a soft stone. Get that slurry. Again, you don't need to invest in a super high amount of product to get good results. You just have to know what you're doing and focus exactly what your hands are doing and what you're trying to do. An abrasive, I mean, for the most part, an abrasive is an abrasive. I mean, there'll be harder stones or softer stones, some with a slurry, some with not. But for most edges, what you're trying to do, it's your hands and your eyes and your experience, which is going to kind of dictate how long something like this will take you. Again, this is a normal sharpening. I guess it had some tiny little chips, but they all do. Okay, so maybe we're like 30 minutes in. You have to charge accordingly. There's sort of like again, that's the hard truth when someone drops off a few Takedas that like, it might be like 50 or 60 bucks or 80 bucks, or, you know, it depends what the knife needs. So if you're a professional out there and someone drops these off, assess accordingly and ask them what they want to do with the blade. Start asking them some questions, how long they've had it, if they sharpen it themselves, if they've taken it to other places. Don't get these and like go and put them on a Tormek or put them on your 1x30 or whatever grind you have if you don't know what you're doing, okay? Remember, there's a heart. If you see a heart, just like take a step back and assess it properly. It's the hard truth with Ryan Swanson. That's what we call it here. The hard truth. But granted, this is also a big knife, so it is taking me a while because it's 250-ish millimeter. The Takeda pretty much like freestyles his stuff, so that's what's the weird measurement. A little more water, and we'll wrap it up pretty soon. Once I feel this burr is kind of knocking it back. Again, then I'm just going to polish it on the buffer. We'll see what this looks like. of all the knives in the Japanese world, besides like a Yanagi or Deba or like something that's Usuba, the flat Usuba profiles are like extremely difficult to work with because they like to get out there. They like to kind of change their profile. Hey, they're always bent, so they'll always have a recurve because that part of the middle of the knife is kind of hitting the stone first. Like those are what I would consider the most difficult, challenging knives to do. And these Takedas are pretty much the hardest to sharpen that I believe that are out there right now. Again, it's no offense to the maker. Like he has this thing, they're really high performance. It's just, well, again, one of my characteristics of what to look for in a blade, which is ease of maintenance and sharpening. Like this just does not score well in that category. Performance-wise and edge retention, it scores like freaking 11, okay, out of 10. But it's when it gets knocked back with, you know, this is like 10,000 strokes I'm doing. It just had, with a tiny, tiny little chip. If I just put a primary edge on there, I could have ground that no problem. But when you're grinding the entire Scandi grind and that amount of blue super steel, you can be sure you're going to be getting your strokes in. I had like a Fitbit for my wrists. I'm probably at like 10,000 strokes for sure. But it's good for muscle memory. Let's see what we're looking at right now. Ooh. See, there's some scratches there. The higher polish you go, the more you're going to start seeing your scratches. So don't fret about it. It is just cosmetic, okay? But when you're pro and you're trying to like obsess over things and making it look real nice for your customers, it's good to take the time and try to do your best. Obviously, you're going to do your best, but most of the time, if it cuts well, that's what they're looking for. If it looks great, that's an extra bonus. But you don't want it to look like crap. You want it to look presentable, okay? Don't just like throw a quick edge on there and get it out the door. But there's a certain point where if you're a business owner, time is money. And if you're not charging accordingly, you're going to wonder and questioning your life choices. This is my thing. My presentation in Vegas is all about assessment, okay? Like, if you're a pro and you're getting into it, the best thing you can do is just like take the time to stop what you're doing. Customer drops off their knives and look at them and like examine them and see if there's any damage. There's what would have to be done because you're not charging enough. Suddenly, oh, there's a big chip in there, or the knife is bent, or whatever, a recurve, and then you're just in the hole. Or if you don't address it and they're not aware, trust me, when a customer drops off their knives, like a regular set of Wistoffs or whatever, they never looked at their knives. They never cared, all right? But when they get them back from the sharpener, they're going to be like breaking out their glass, checking every little thing of their knives because you just sharpened them. So, like, they might not have seen a damage before, but if you don't fix it, they'll be blaming you that you, like, either put a chip in their blade or you cracked it. I've had them all call me if I forgot to let them know. Cracked blades especially. If you don't, sometimes you're just grinding like cleaver. You don't see that suddenly you're grinding, there's a crack. You should have seen that and let them know, or else they may call on you, hey, you cracked my knife. Like, that crack has probably been there for 20 years, lady. But, like, it's only now that you're examining it just because you paid me some money to sharpen your knife. So examine and assess your blades, new sharpeners out there. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm going to take this off, bring it over to the buffer. There's a couple scratches in that Kasumi. I'm not too worried about it.
I mean, they do have expensive nice knives.
Okay, if you got a big slurry on here, be careful. It gets slippery, okay? I almost just opened up my finger here, so just be careful. Big mess. Big mess. All right, so try to have a clean rag too. You don't need any dust particles. Oh yeah, so the core is looking good. The scratches on that off the 3000, you can really see a remnants of it. See how that's looking now. Some of the scratches in the steel right there, all right, in the cladding. But trusty belt grinder. All right, I got a felt belt here, if you can see that. I got some blue compound. And what I'm gonna do is just like match this Scandi grind, okay? Don't lift it up because then you're kind of you're undoing your work. You want to keep that Scandi crisp. See, this is the moment where I like look at it, it's polishing up. I'm just like, I love these knives. No, I was probably just complaining about it for the past 30 minutes. Sorry if this is loud in the microphone. It's loud in my ears, so. And what I'm doing, I'm feeling it. 3-finger test of sharpness. Murray Carter style. Nice. And if you don't have a grinder at home, you know, you can pull this through a piece of cork or some leather strops. All right, we gotta have a paddle strop somewhere. Okay, it's a big strop right there. It's also my bending tool. There, a little Mr. Bendy likes to kind of like get in there. But for stropping purposes, again, maintaining that same 5-degree angle. I'm making that up that it's 5 degrees. It's like 2 or 3 or whatever. You've seen previous videos with me about angles. Scandi, it's just like it's on the Scandi. That's all I need to know. It's on the Scandi grind. Kitchen knives, yeah. Okay, now if you see, how's that look, Dylan? How's that look, Dylan, in there? All right, you can see that kind of Kasumi there between the stainless cladding and the core. Looking pretty even. Again, that's the buffer. That's up to Swahiro 3000. And do a little sharpness test. Oh, this does look nice. You know, you want to be able to kind of, with this steel and this angle, you should be treetopping your hairs along the entirety of the blade. I don't know how well you're picking that up, but this knife is insane right now. Okay, see, now I love these. These are like the best knives in the world, even though like it took me so long and so many strokes. Okay, I got my muscles, I got my hand. These knives are not for beginners, okay? If you're looking to get one, okay, just be prepared to spend a lot of time on stones, even if they're new, all right? Or you want to like just keep it up, get your fine stones out and just do a little bit like once a week. If you feel it's just like it's not working a little properly, just like keep it up. The longer you wait to sharpen, the more you're going to have to do. Again, Takeda 250 millimeter. This knife is insane right now. Could do a cutting demo, but I put all that work, getting a nice finish on there, so I don't want to ruin it. But trust me, this knife is super sharp, shaving clean. Yeah, that's insane. So thanks for watching. Update on the platins coming the end of this week for everybody who ordered a platin. Thank you very much. It was a big hit. Surprised actually how well they took off. So end of this week we'll have them in. We'll be shipping them out. More videos to come, guys. Like this video, share it, subscribe, all that stuff. And thanks for watching. Jesus.